Welcome back to episode 4 of my video series where I'm vlogging basically my journey of becoming a filmmaker. Today is the quest of knowing to tell yourself when to not give up ever. I think what I've been facing recently is that my motivation has dropped dramatically, and I'm basically working off my own willpower to kind of figure out what I need to do and what I need to keep practicing and how can I make something that can be, like really cute, really cool or something like that. And I'm just trying to kind of figure out what I need to do, and I'm kind of working on, what works, what's valuable, what I want to work on personally in like I guess my video or whatever. And I think that I'm constantly stressing never giving up, and I'm constantly stressing believing in myself. But I got to be honest, I don't really know a path, and I think that's okay. But it's like I kind of need to figure out what I want to do for my films. I mean, I have a plan for one that I'm gonna shoot with hopefully my friends soon, and then there's one I want to shoot on my own, and there's a bunch of ideas flowing in. And the problem is that my mindset is, wow, I think these are great stories and I wish I had the production value. In reality, I don't. But I think that it shouldn't hold me back from what I want to do. I think that it's really important for me to kind of value what I have now and be like, hey, there's some people who might not have this equipment, so might as well just make something. Might as well just make something, because I think I'm constantly, more recently, been worried about what it's going to turn out to be, even though I haven't even filmed anything. I mean, it would be great to be a director and a filmmaker and all that, but in reality, it doesn't matter unless you have the willpower and the determination to make something and make something great. I mean, I think it takes a great amount of skill and dedication and passion and all that to make something actually good, while also staying true to your values and understanding that nothing has to be perfect. And also, what I'm creating right now, it's all part of a learning process. I mean, I'm doing these journal diary things just because it's part of a process, and the process is learning and learning how to deal with failure and learning how to kind of grow through it. I mean, there are so many times where I'm trying to become like a perfect filmmaker, and it's funny because I'm being so hard on myself even though I haven't filmed anything, and I think it's kind of silly, and I think I need to work on it. But I'm saying I have these stuffs planned out. I mean, why not film right now? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm tired. I'll make this like short. Like, I think like my idea of someone who lives their entire life in the room, which represents kind of like a prison that we put ourselves into, can be very symbolic. Where it's like he's talking with his friend. This is about my short story. He's talking with his friend, and his friend, the main character John. That's what I gave him as a name. John is kind of hesitant and, like he says he wants to get out, escape the bland machine or whatever I called it. And I think that was pretty significant, a pretty significant moment. Also, I thought that it would be valuable to note that, um, like, I guess the irony of being on the phone all the time or living on the phone all the time can kind of lead to a lot of stress and maybe not a lot of unneeded stress. So basically, how I want to end it is basically the symbol is basically the door. He's constantly trying to get out and get out, and basically the door's open, so he has the opportunity to leave whenever he wants. It's not like, the door's locked and he can't leave, but that's the symbol of acting as something that he can leave, but he's not comfortable with leaving. And how I want the short story to go, how I want, what I want the short story to highlight is the fact that even though he wasn't, I guess, necessarily ready to leave, he left. And I'm still trying to figure out the ending, if it should be good to determine if he does accept and leaves, or if he's still resentful and decides to stay. So keep being comfortable, or I guess ascend and then leave. That's the symbol of kind of like stepping out of your boundary and doing something that is, I guess, kind of bigger than you in order to achieve a bigger goal. And I think that it can work as a big symbol as being an artist, because a lot of artists have to step out of their own comfort zone and break barriers and go beyond the limit of what's expected in society and what's expected of them in order to create something beautiful. So I think that it's kind of worthwhile to kind of analyze and understand the pattern of that. But also, I want to kind of figure out what makes a good story. I really want to make a horror short film. I want to make a thriller. I want to make, maybe a biopic about my life. That would be kind of cool, even though my life isn't too exciting. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just put in a course request form to change from AP Comp Sci A to Intro to um, Content Creation. I think that's really cool. I want to be a filmmaker, and I think that this class can help me, but it's not something I should rely on. I think I should still be constantly seeking to film on my own, find some young actors, find some people who are like minded as me. I think that right now in Colorado, there's not really anybody who I know directly who is really into filmmaking. I mean, it's not like it's an untapped community, but it's like I don't really know anyone who makes films like that. And it's funny, just starting and like I'm an amateur filmmaker, but I haven't made anything. It's like saying I'm a race car driver, but I never driven a car before. Like, it's kind of hard to put into words, because it's like I want to be a director, and I say I'm willing to do whatever it takes, but in reality, probably not. And I think that it gets to a certain point where you kind of have to, like, not necessarily like lock in, but you kind of have to understand, well, if this is what you're going to do, you kind of have to go all in, and you kind of have to accept the fact that maybe it won't go right, but you can hope, your darndest that it will go right. And I think that it's kind of important to keep track of that, because people get caught up in all of that. Like, if I ever release a short film, which I will, I need to stay dedicated. I need to stay true to my word, which I will. I'm saying that I think it would be ideal for me to upload on YouTube and not really look at the comments ever, even the positive ones, because I'm expecting negative feedback, and I hope for negative feedback because it's just the only way I can improve. If people are always giving me praise, but it's not to a standard I want, then it's like, well, what are we doing? I understand it doesn't have to be perfect, and I understand that writing can overshadow anything, can overshadow everything. But it's like, well, it gets to a point and it's kind of difficult. Like, I want to step above and beyond and become something great like Curry Barker, and be dedicated enough to do that. Make films, and not just make films, but make successful films. I hope so. I hope so bad. I hope so bad it happens. Like nothing in my entire life. I want to make movies. I mean, I've been watching a lot of behind the scenes, or how it was made, of certain movies I love to watch, and it's just so captivating seeing a group of people, a bunch of people come together to make a movie. I mean, it's just collaboration we don't usually see every single day, and I think that's what makes filmmaking beautiful, because you can take a bunch of people. I guess I'll use Obsession as an example because it's one of my favorite films now. It's just because you're taking a ragtag crew basically on a $750,000 budget to make a film in 20 days, and then it breaks records that haven't been broken in like over 25 years. Way over. And I think it's kind of difficult to kind of grasp the idea of that, just because I think it's so significant that some people are making stuff like that at 26, and then Kane Parsons at 21 now. He was 20 years old, right? The memes and stuff. But it's like, shit, am I falling behind? And probably not, but there's definitely people out there who are the same age as me who are pursuing filmmaking and they want to be all these great things. And not to sound cocky or anything, but I really think that I have something that differentiates me. And I'm not going to call myself a genius, but I definitely think that I can operate on a certain level. Maybe some people can't for a certain amount of time. I mean, maybe it's not even intellect. Maybe it's just like, I don't know. It sounds arrogant every time I say it. So maybe it's best to not say it until, something gets made and until, you know, because there's plenty of people my age who try to become filmmakers and it just really didn't work out just because of timing, logistics, money or something like that. But right now I'm living in the best time where it's like I can differentiate myself in such a way that can put me not necessarily in Hollywood, but that can make me a big time director. Start small, not big. I think I have to have some little goals to kind of be motivated enough, or not even just motivated enough, but just to be driven enough to kind of power through what everybody else is doing and then differentiate myself through that. Because there's kids who are my age who are making movies and being amateur filmmakers and they're definitely getting recognized. But it's like, well, I think we're all on our own paths, but there has to be a time where I differentiate myself enough to get recognized because it's like, well, if you're everybody else, then if you want to be different, you have to try 10 times harder. And on paper, I'm just like everybody else, and it's just such an arrogant part of me where it's like, well, I'm different than everybody else, and I can make something in my, like mental capacity, something. I'm a genius, blah blah blah, and that's definitely not true. But it's like, well, I kind of wish it was true, because everybody wants to direct a movie, everyone wants to make a big movie, and there's so many stories of people who try to become directors and it just never worked out. And I really hope that it does work out for me. I hope that I can stay dedicated enough to my craft where it's like, wow, where someone can watch one of my short films or something and be like, wow, that person really put their time and effort into this short film, even though he uploaded on YouTube, which is a great route. And hopefully, with all this Curry Barker, Kane Parsons craze, hopefully I can get recognized. And hopefully I can win awards. And hopefully I can, you know, focus on filmmaking a lot more than what my parents want me to do. And, it's just kind of like, well, I want to be my own independent thinker. I want to make something great for myself and I want to make something great for other people. That's my 2 cents. I am extremely tired and I have work tomorrow. So I'm going to bed right now. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite and stay dedicated and don't give up on anything that you're doing because persistence is key and you will succeed if you have persistence no matter what. All right, I'm out.